welcome back to my series where I turn Mario characters into Pokemon. This time we're doing Donkey Kong, because what is Mario without Donkey Kong? A lot of things. But Donkey Kong is a very important part of the Mario franchise at large. So in my quest to make an entire Pokemon region based off of the Super Mario universe, of course, we gotta do Donkey Kong. I decided to start with Diddy Kong. I think the evolution line will be very obvious. It's Diddy Kong who will eventually turn into, I guess, evolve into Donkey Kong, right? That makes sense, right? Little monkey turns into big monkey. I really didn't really know what to do here, but I knew I wanted to incorporate the barrel to make more sense as the evolution line goes on. But he has to have a barrel. This time he's just a little monkey guy on a barrel. And like there's so many monkey Pokemon, so I was struggling to, come up with something that was a bit more unique. I just decided to go simple. He's basically a little ball with monkey features. Has the monkey nose. He doesn't have ears. He will have ears later. He will grow ears, which is weird. But he's of course a little baby monkey, brown monkey with a big tail. He's actually the only one that has a tail in like the Donkey Kong family. If you look at all the Kongs, Diddy Kong is really the only one that has a tail, which is kind of questionable. Maybe he was adopted into the Kong family, because Donkey Kong is actually canonically Diddy Kong's uncle, I believe. Diddy Kong is his nephew, so I don't know, it's kind of weird. Maybe Kongs just sometimes have tails, I don't know. Because if you compare Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong, only Diddy Kong has a tail, Dixie doesn't. Also, his hat is supposed to be like a leaves. He wouldn't be wearing like a regular cap because, he's a Pokemon, he's a wild animal, I suppose. So I decided to make it this way. I think it looks okay. I'm not unhappy with how he turned out. I think he looks okay. It's very simple design, but here's Diddy Kong Mon. I don't have a name for him, so hey, if you come up with a name for him, please let me know in the comments. I'm gonna love to hear it. And his evolution is actually, I did it off screen, I'm sorry, but here's Donkey Kong Jr. as a Pokemon. This time he's not inside the barrel, he's carrying the barrel wherever he goes because it's his little buddy, I guess you could say. But yeah, I think the evolution line makes sense. Diddy Kong evolves into Donkey Kong Jr. and of course, now he evolves into Donkey Kong. And if Donkey Kong actually had a pretty clear idea of what I wanted to do, which is a very silly idea. But he's a big ape, as you can see, big ape with a barrel body. And you might be wondering, how does he have a barrel body? He had a barrel and now he has a barrel-shaped body. Okay, so he ate his barrel. How could he do that? How could he eat his barrel friends? I just thought it would be funny. He starts off inside the barrel and then the barrel ends up inside of him. Doesn't really make sense, but I just thought it would be funny. I feel like it's a pretty on-the-nose design for Donkey Kong as a Pokemon. Of course, Donkey Kong is always associated with barrels, so, it's a pretty obvious connection to make here. You might have noticed that I just made one hand, one arm, I guess, and just flipped it to make the other one, so don't judge me for that, I think it's okay. He also has a tie that is made out of leaves, just like Diddy Kong's hat. So the hat became his tie. I just wanted to get the things incorporated into the evolution. Donkey Kong Jr. He didn't have a hat or a tie or anything, but he had like a little strap in his barrel that was red. So I wanted the red to go from the first evolution all the way to the last one. So yeah, Donkey Kong has his classic tie, but it's made out of leaves because he's a wild animal, so I guess that works well, right? Doesn't really have his insignia, his DK written in it, but I guess it's fine. I wanted him to have a little bit of yellow, so I just made the shadows in his eyes be yellow. It kind of makes him look a bit of like he's a stoner, but I don't know, I think it's funny. But yeah, here's Donkey Kong. Here's Donkey Kong Mon. He also doesn't have a name. I think the most obvious name that I could think of was Barilla, like barrel and gorilla combined. I think it's a very, very obvious thing to do. But yeah, I think he looks cool and I hope you like him. If you have a better name for him, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. After that, we went on to make Dixie Kong as a Pokemon. Again, I scrapped the digital sketch that I was doing because I kind of hate sketching on digital. So I went with this sketch that I did on my sketchbook. I think it looks much better than what I was doing. It will be a lot more clearer once we finish the actual drawing, the line art and everything. So the idea here is like Dixie doesn't have a tail, but Diddy Kong has. And Dixie, instead of having a tail, she has a big ponytail. So what if her tail was the ponytail? So basically she's a little monkey lady with a tail as a ponytail, or a ponytail as a tail I should say. And I think it looks pretty cute. I think she actually looks pretty adorable. Diddy Kong, as we can see in her design, she has a little beret hat, kind of thing. So I just decided to turn that into a little mask. She kind of looks sort of like a thief or maybe like a wrestler, which will be incorporated into her evolutions as we go on. I know that doesn't really have to do with the character. Dixie isn't really a wrestler or a thief. She's more of a cutie patootie. She's just adorable, and she's Diddy Kong's buddy, and she has these little hands that kind of look like they're about to nab you or steal all your money. But I just wanted to give her a little fame, even if it doesn't have a lot to do with the character. So here's Dixie Kong. Dixie Kong as a Pokemon. I also don't really have a name for her. Yeah, I think she's adorable, and if you can come up with a name for her, I will be very happy, and I will appreciate it, and I might include it into the full Pokédex video, so yeah, thank you. So her evolution I actually did off screen. It's Tiny Kong, which is weird because Tiny Kong is actually, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Dixie's younger sister or something like that, but doesn't really make sense because, you know, Tiny is way bigger than her, at least in later iterations of the character. But yeah, here's Tiny Kong as a Pokemon. So for their evolution, I went with Candy Kong, which is a character that doesn't really appear very much nowadays in the Donkey Kong games or even Mario games, I guess. I mean, Mario games, the only Donkey Kong character that appears is Donkey Kong, and maybe sometimes Diddy Kong. I really wish that Mario games, I should say, would incorporate Donkey Kong characters more, at least the classic ones, like at least Candy Kong and King K. Rool. I don't know, I just like them. I think all of us Mario fans just really like the Mario characters and all the spin-off related characters as well. I think they're pretty cool. For this design, I kind of had an idea. So the little wrestler Dixie Kong that I did there, she evolves into the Tiny Kong, and then the evolution for that would be Candy Kong as sort of a wrestler, quote unquote, but also she's like a wrestler with a dominatrix like motif to her, which I know it's kind of weird, but the idea is that Candy Kong, she's the typical girl character, you should say. She doesn't really have a lot of things going on for her, which is a bit of a shame. I do like Candy Kong a lot, and I wish more things would be done with her. But she, on her original design, she sort of wears this skin-tight suit that kind of makes her look like she has maybe like a wrestling suit going on. And since the idea behind Dixie Kong and Tiny Kong is that from one ponytail you go to two ponytails with Tiny, and then with the third evolution maybe you would think that it would be three ponytails, but I don't think that would look good. So I gave her two whips. The two ponytails turned into two little whips, or I guess big whips for her to use. It's kind of weird, but I thought it would be funny, and it kind of looks cool. And with the whips came the idea for her to be sort of a dominatrix looking character. She's not literally one, but I don't know, just kind of wanted to give that idea because I thought it would be funny. But yeah, here's Candy Kong. She's a dominatrix, I guess, wrestler kind of thing. She's not really a dominatrix, she's a wrestler with a dominatrix theme to her design, you know? So yeah, I hope you like her, and if you can think of a name for her, I will be very happy. Thank you. And next up, of course, we're gonna make King K. Rool, the big bad of the Donkey Kong franchise, who hasn't really appeared in almost like anything in the past like 20 years maybe. I don't know when that was the last time that King K. Rool appeared on a Donkey Kong game. He of course was in Smash, which made a lot of people happy, especially Donkey Kong fans, but Smash is it's not really a Donkey Kong game, is it? Because in the Donkey Kong Country games, he's not there. They kinda disappeared. They kinda killed King K. Rool and all the Kremlings, which is very sad. and I would be crying about it. Maybe I did, but it's weird that he is not the antagonist anymore. They just replace him with, I guess, some masks guy. I think that's what was going on with the other Donkey Kong Country games. I haven't really played in. Unfortunately, I kind of wanted to, but I'm kind of lazy. And I don't really have a lot of money. Yeah, I kind of miss King K. Rool. Even if you don't have him as the antagonist, maybe you could make him as a playable character in those games. I think that would actually work really, really well and would make people very happy. Remember how people were happy with him being in Smash? There's an audience for King K. Rool. People like him. Especially if we make like if they end up making the Donkey Kong movie that I think will actually come up someday. I think there will be a Donkey Kong movie one day, hopefully after the second Mario movie. I think would work very well. The pieces are all there. You have the Donkey Kong characters, you have Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong in the Mario movie, and the Cranky Kong, and maybe Funky Kong and Tiny Kong. And all the background places, a bunch of random Kongs disappear, and maybe some of them, you know, are the Donkey Kong characters. I recognize a bunch of those, but you know, they're not actually characters in the movie. So a Donkey Kong spin-off, I think, will happen one day. You have a lot of material to work with of course having this really rich Mario-like planet. Maybe it's a planet, the universe, the Mario universe planet happening in the Mario movies. I think it will be very good to see like a Donkey Kong spin-off. So yeah, that was a weird tangent I just went on. But I do think a Donkey Kong movie will come eventually with King K. Rool as the villain. And I think that would be very cool, because King K. Rool deserves more love. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this own animation that I really love, which is basically a musical with the original Donkey Kong Country cartoon voice actors actually voicing the characters. So it's I don't remember their name right now, but I'm gonna put the link in the description if I can remember. It's really cool. It just really talks about how King K. Rool is forgotten. We don't know where he is in the Mario universe right now. He disappeared. People just, I guess the developers just forgot about him, which is very, very sad. Because I love him. I love Mario characters. I love obscure Mario characters. He's not really obscure, but he is, you know, he's not really here anymore, is he? But yeah, I love Mario characters in all shapes and forms. So yeah, I love King K. Rool too. He's a good antagonistic force, and I wish he would come back to the games. I just really miss him. So yeah, here's King K. Rool as Pokemon. He's I guess it's very similar to his original design, but you know, I didn't want to stray it too far because he already has a very iconic design. But yeah, I think he looks okay. He is a water type, so he has like bubble chains and a bubble crown. And yeah, I think he looks okay. And if you can think of a name for him, I will be very grateful. So yeah, I hope you like him. And I hope you enjoyed this video. This was fun to do, and I'm gonna keep doing this until I have the entire Pokédex ready. I'm not gonna make all of the Pokemon in videos, but we will have a bit more videos planned out to be put out, and maybe this month or maybe next month, up until the point that I have the entire Pokédex video planned and, you know, made. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this and you enjoyed this series, and I hope you watched my next video. Yeah, thanks. Please subscribe.